Hello and welcome to Flashback, the games you loved, the stories you forgot. This is episode 31, and this week we're in March 2011. I'm RGT, and I'm not joined by George. I'm joined by someone different this week. You might know him if you're in our Discord or you listen to our main show, Unofficial Controller podcast. There's Tom, aka Digital Monkery. How you doing, Tom?
Hello there. Thanks for having me, Tom. I'm doing all right today, thank you.
No.
How
Thanks for joining us. No, I'm really well. Like I say, I was going to do a solo this week. We're a bit short of presenters, and I sort of like, hang on a minute. I know who we can have on here: the collector, the YouTuber, yourself. So I thought, yep, get you on, because although this era isn't, one you were too fond remembering of. There's still plenty of games here we've played in, since then that we can chat about. And like I say, if you're new to the show, welcome along. Thanks for listening, downloading and streaming, whatever you do. On Flashback, basically, we look at what we probably would have been playing in this month of this year. We have a look at 3 news stories, and then we go on to what we would have hoping to have been played that year or that month exactly. But yeah, so it's quite interesting. We always have a little movie pick at the end as well, with a little bit of housekeeping just to finish off. But yeah, let's jump straight in. I'll do a few honourable mentions. There's things like Killzone 3, Bulletstorm, games like that. I think I'm going to go straight in with Professor Layton and the Miracle Mask. Great game. If you ever played any Professor Layton games, always reminds me, because my wife is mad on these games. The only one she hadn't played is a Switch game, but it was literally my mother-in-law that got her into them. Always had the DS's, always had Professor Layton's, handed them back down through the family, and then my daughter ended up with the DS's. She played her games, but there was something about Professor Layton that my wife just loved. Good introduction into game, and she'd sort of dabbled a bit in the past with PS2 and stuff, but this was that sort of solid game in the next series she always wanted to play. And like we were saying off air, just with the DS, how many people that opened up to, older generations, younger generations, there was just seemed to be games for everyone on there. Yeah, great games, great puzzle games. Have you played any of these, Tom, Professor Layton's?
I've played a couple of Professor Layton. I went on a plane for the first time earlier in that year and took one on the plane to play that.
Oh, nice.
But with what you were saying about how like the DS opened things up for non-gamers, that's pretty much consistent for that generation for Nintendo anyway. Because obviously you had the Wii introducing so many people who wouldn't necessarily play games with things like Wii Sports and stuff. And then for the DS, you had stuff like Brain Training to introduce people to it as well. Which
I suppose so. There's so much on there, wasn't there? I know a lot of it we would class shovelware, but from Sudoku to crosswords to it's quite clever marketing to give it an interest to anyone who weren't even a gamer, but to have that sort of games machine in your pocket.
Project Rub, don't forget.
But absolutely fantastic. What about you for your first one you've noticed on there and you might have been playing, or wanted to play, I should say?
I was going to say, I didn't play too many around this time because it was like the dark ages for me with gaming. And I tended to just go straight back to Football Manager at that point anyway. I think I put close to 300 hours into Football Manager that year. So
wow. Unbelievable.
My Reading team was unbeatable. But the first one that caught my eye from what you've said on here is Silver Lining.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what that was, Silver Lining. I saw it on there, but I'd never heard of it.
It was just the artwork caught me because it looked a bit like it would have been point and click of some description. So I thought I'd give it a little bit of a look. And it's just based on the old King's Quest games, the Sierra point and clicks.
Yeah.
I've got all of those ones, but never actually played any of the King's Quest games because
you got the big box PC ones, have you?
No, I can't afford big box like that.
So what have you got? Like later iterations?
They're just all on Steam.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But I haven't touched them yet because I've always stuck more towards LucasArts because the Sierra ones were always just so punishing with deaths and puzzles where you had to collect something early in the game and then need it later in the game. But if you hadn't collected it, you couldn't go back to get it.
Oh, brutal.
So that's part of what inspired things like Monkey Island through Ron Gilbert did a a massive essay on it called "Why Adventure Games Suck," and it's basically like a
Mm.
template for what you can do. Um, as I said to you off air, like the Police Quest games by Sierra, they were very strict on things like doing your vehicle checks and stuff.
Oh wow, that
And
was that in depth.
so, like, you'd go to a job, but if you hadn't checked your vehicle properly, like your wheel would fall off and stuff.
No way. Even
So,
then, they were that in
so
depth on games.
Sierra, they had like a former police officer as an advisor for the Police Quest games, and they were
No
just
way.
punishing. But one of the things that caught me with Silver Lining coming out was we also then a few days later had King's Quest 3 Redux come out.
Oh,
So
okay, that's
so you had
weird
so
to
you
be
had
that
one
close.
yeah, you had one based on King's Quest come out, and then a few days later a King's Quest reboot, which was just
You thought they'd
struck
have
me
been
as
a bit more
incredibly
staggered
bizarre.
than that, wouldn't you, really?
Yeah, it was bizarre.
Oh, that's crazy, yeah.
Yeah,
Let's have a look next. Also noticed sort of movie tie-in like Rango. Um, yeah, not
yeah.
something I've seen. I never have watched Rango. Have you
No,
seen Rango? No.
I've not seen it at all. I always thought the character model looked really interesting.
Hmm.
I was like one that I'd go, oh yeah, I'll watch that. And now we're what 15 years later, and I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, no, same here. I remember all the hype about it, and then that was just gone. And I don't really know anyone that saw Rango, but that
No,
was a weird one, really. But it's definitely one I need to watch. And like I say, obviously, got its typical tie-in game. Also noticed Beyond Good and Evil HD. I didn't realize there was an HD version at the time, but
no. It was
appa-
the anniversary of Beyond Good and Evil quite recently, wasn't it?
I think so.
Like
Yeah, I
some
do.
like 25th anniversary or something.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and I think this was Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network done it, so you could play at the time, which is a great way to play and a very well remembered and well thought of game. Beyond Good and Evil. Another one I've got, haven't played. Yeah, happy to
Yeah.
admit. But um, anything else on there for you, Tom?
There's the Dreamcast Collection. Obviously,
Mm,
with both of us being retro gamers, getting
mm,
a collection like that to play on what was the modern console
yeah,
and getting things like Crazy Taxi, Sonic DX, and stuff like that on there, just in
yeah,
one collection, and Sega Bass Fishing.
yeah.
Although probably wouldn't have been the same without the fishing rod controller.
No, I don't think it. I mean, you'd probably still have fun, but for me, I do like my fishing controller, and
Just
that's
sitting there
so.
doing.
It's just. I mean, even when I used to have the game shed and we'd have friends around, we'd play Sega Bass Fishing, tackling turns with the rod. Even people that didn't like fishing loved playing that. That was just so much fun.
Yeah,
But yeah, great games. But yeah, Dreamcast Collection, that's awesome to have on a system, especially on the Xbox. Um, I don't know if that's gone up. That used to be fairly cheap. I don't know what it is nowadays, but I wouldn't like to
I've got
think. But
no idea.
I tend to do that and think there's games in my collection that are fairly cheap, and then I'm not really that interested in prices. But sometimes you'll think, oh, I need a manual for that, or I need something for that. I'll just look up what it is now, and you sometimes get a bit of a shock as to what value you're actually sitting on,
Yeah,
and you just think, when did that happen? But you seem to log in the price you paid, not the price has gone
yeah.
up with inflation. But um, another game I was going to talk about was MotorStorm Apocalypse. Um, Now, I think this was the last game they done. Obviously, the original MotorStorm being a pack in for the PS3, and we had Arctic. So Arctic Edge, I think, which was on PS2 and PSP. Great
Yeah,
on there as well, really good. But MotorStorm Apocalypse is more like a story version rather than just doing your races and trying to win and move on to the next race. This had a story to it, a bit like Infamous, where it had the comic book cutscenes. You're obviously in an apocalypse and you're making your way across racing from area to area.
yeah,
Yeah, really good game. Lot of people talk about it. Really, probably should
yeah,
use that as a hidden gem over on the UCP, shouldn't I?
yeah. Motorstorm was one of the launch games for PS3, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah, the original
Yeah,
MotorStorm. Then they done.
I've played that one.
Yeah, that was good. Great game. I mean, I remember buying my HD TV and my PS3. So it's the first time I'd had anything HD, and then putting that in, I just was like, wow, that's unbelievable coming from a PS2. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
Um, but
So I think I
yeah,
was on my third or fourth PS3 by this point.
really,
Yeah, because the disc drive just kept dying on me.
No way.
and I'd end up with games stuck in there.
Yeah, no, I never had that. I bought an OG PS3. Um, the My mate worked at a company. It was lucky enough to be one of the first to get him in the UK.
Yeah,
So I got one on release. One of the Fat Boys, 60 gig, backwards compatible, all that. And I had that for a few years, loved it. And then for some reason, I was playing the game and I wanted to leave it paused. I don't know why I left it paused. And I'd put stupidly a couple of DVDs either side. They
yeah.
both fell in and it blocked the fans off.
Oh, damn it.
And I literally went out, done a bit of shopping as a day off from work, come back. Oh, it's gone off. Turned it on. Beep, beep, beep. Yellow light. Oh, no.
No.
Went up the computer shop. He's like, have you blocked the fans off at all? Yeah, I might have done. He's like, yeah, you cooked it. He said, I can give it a go. I'll try and reflow it, but he couldn't
Yeah.
get it working again. I still kept it just to remind me of my stupidity. But yeah, but yeah, typical. But anyway, we go off piste a bit. But
Yeah.
anything else on there for you? I did
Um,
notice Lego Star Wars 3. I thought
yeah.
that might have been a bit of a Star Wars gamer yourself. Not Star Wars, Lego gamer yourself. I thought that you
I
might have been all over
do
that.
love my Lego games, but that one I detested.
Oh,
I
really?
bought it really early on, and it was the first one to have dynamic split screen on it. So you'd be flying on one of the battles, you'd be top of the screen, and then all of a sudden it would just flip around, and you'd be
Oh,
bottom, and
no.
it messed with my head, and I really hated it. So I played a couple of hours on that, and then it just went away.
No way. Have you ever played
Yeah,
two
I've
player since? Or
I've not gone back to it, and I don't think I've played any Lego games on two player since.
oh,
It burnt me that badly.
oh no. Oh no. Yes, I knew you're a Lego gamer, but I didn't realize you
Yeah,
didn't like that split screen they
yeah,
done on there. Oh.
yeah.
Um.
Another
Also,
one that's sorry.
no, no.
Go on.
You carry on. Go on. Carry on.
Another one that was out around that time was we had the separate episodes of the Back to the Future game, the Telltale one,
Mm. Mm.
um, which like it's a completely original story that came after the movies rather than being a game of the movies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it starts off with you going to like Prohibition Hill Valley
Mm.
and having to stop your granddad from getting locked up. But then that makes a dystopian 1986, and then you have to build on it. But it was done as monthly episodes,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's a good one.
Great
And
game. Yeah.
the actor who does Marty is so good, and it sounds like Michael J. Fox.
Oh, it does. So
He
when
is
I first played
fantastic.
that game, I had to look it up. So I thought he sounds like a young Michael J. Fox. Really does.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely brilliant.
it's amazing just how he got the voice, just proper chef's kiss on it.
And you think as well with Telltale, it's quite brave as well because the trilogy of Back to the Future is really loved.
Yeah,
Massive following, community, everything. So to go down a different story route is great, but great for fans as well to play a different Back to the Future.
but I also think that was one of the best decisions they made
Yeah,
because if you try to make the game of the films, all of a sudden people are going, "We've missed this out. Oh, they
yeah,
wouldn't have done this. Oh, this
yeah,
puzzle doesn't make sense in terms of the story." But making it a completely new story,
yeah.
it
True.
just helps to guide things through and makes things just that little bit smoother for them as well.
Yeah, very true. Yeah, very true. Um, I noticed on here Dragon Age 2. I haven't played myself, but my brother-in-law sunk many an hour into Dragon Age 2,
Yeah,
hundreds of hours actually. Especially at the time, he was into his PS3 and that, and he loved a big medieval RPG, your Skyrims and bits and pieces. But yeah, Dragon Age he loved. I mean, he was well over 300 hours in it, and he was always said to me, "Oh, you got to play that, got to play that." Um, 300 hours is quite hard to find at the moment.
it's very easy when you're in your mid-20s and you're playing Football Manager.
Yeah, definitely. I've just completed a game lately, a big JRPG, and I put 65 hours in and thought that was hell of an achievement. So 3 hours is that's going to be tricky.
Nothing
Very
compared to
tricky.
your Stardew Valley and Harvestella time, though, surely.
Oof, Harvestella was 120 hours, I think. Stardew, I've put 200 or 300 in. My wife's probably 600 or 700 hours. Our friend, who's a listener to the show, hello Joe, she's
Yeah.
um she's rapidly approaching 1,000 hours.
You're
That's
joking.
1,000 hours on. She's got the PS4 version on PS5, and she is 2 trophies off the platinum, which is a tough platinum Stardew. She's got the arcade machine ones to do, and she's platinumed it.
1,000 hours and still not got the platinum.
Nope.
That is insane.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Nearly a
I, I
thousand
thought
hours.
I thought my Assassin's Creed Valhalla was bad.
I mean, if you look at her setup and her business in Stardew, she puts Aldi and Lidl to shame. It's literally,
Yeah.
she's turning over millions, and you're like, my God, fair play, fair play.
Is it pretty much at the stage now where almost everything is just automated?
She's got proper business going there, definitely with like vintage wines and vintage foods and these special fruits that she uses and gets the highest revenue. And she's got all the animals, big animal farm, and yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, unbelievable.
That is
Um,
crazy. We've
um,
completely gone off on a tangent there, though, haven't we?
we have, haven't we? Yeah. Also on here, I saw Shift 2 um was released as well.
Yeah.
Need for Speed. I mean, they tried going a bit different Need for Speed at this point with getting a bit more serious racer and bits and pieces. Now, I remember playing Shift and Shift 2. I remember quite enjoying it, but I don't remember it being a game that is really lodged in there that you've gone, oh yeah, what a classic.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there was problems at the time between the Need for Speed name. I think there was issues with certain games coming out, and I think whether two devs had rights to it, but so obviously one team was doing the more serious stuff like Shift, and others were doing stuff like the Run, and I don't
Yeah.
know, but yeah, that was I remember it being decent, but I don't remember a game that's that memorable. Um, Anything else on there for you, Tom?
Uh, Obviously, we got Nintendo Dogs and Cats came out
Mm, mm,
during that time period. Um, I didn't play Nintendo Dogs and Cats. I remember playing the first Nintendo Dogs,
mm.
and I was put off by the fact that I had to actually talk to the dog rather than just being able to do it at the button press.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like, well, I can't play this playing on the bus, especially not with what I've called my dog.
Sit, Fido. Yeah, start shouting that out. There'll be someone waiting for you when the bus stops.
Exactly. That just, but introducing cats, I don't know whether they behave differently. Or did they do the kind of like wandering off and just walking over your keyboard and stuff, or how did that
God,
work?
I have no idea. I know, like I say, my daughter played these to death, but obviously the dog ones, I don't believe she played the cats, but
Yeah,
I know she definitely played the dog ones. But again, like we said before, that's Nintendo being at their best and being clever, because you've got games from right young generations that appeal to older people, right up to your Professor Laytons with more puzzle based stuff and Sudokus. You know, it's just a great idea, isn't it? And
yeah,
why have to have a Sudoku book and a pen on the bus when you can have a DS in your pocket and as many Sudoku puzzles as you want? It's
exactly.
yeah, great marketing, but yeah, brilliant time.
Yeah,
Also noticed on the Tomb Raider trilogy, um, another one of those HD sort of reboots that we got over on PS3. I can't remember if it come on
yeah,
360 as well. I can't remember, to be honest, but they had sort of someone called classic, someone called HD remasters, and I've got quite a few of them now. Not all of them, but I've got a few of them, sort of Tom Clancy's and bits like that. Um, and you sort of look back now and think, oh yes, but PS3 was sort of backwards compatible, but then you could tell they'd taken that tech out, so your later
yeah.
500 gigs and your super slims would play PS1 and PS3, but they didn't play the PS2. So
No,
I suppose a way of cashing in on that, reboot them, triple packs, resell them again. We bought them. We bought them. But I think I've got God of War, Tomb Raider, Splinter Cell, Metal Gear Solid. I think there's a few there I've got.
yeah,
They're quite good idea, really, to have them and play those older games in a more sort of modern way and HD way, and great collections, really. I mean, some are expensive now, some are. This Tomb Raider, I think, is pretty reasonable, but some of them
Yeah,
are getting pricey. But sort of a era of the time, really. It was sort of when the big remasters started happening. Now we're just flooded with them. But
yeah.
um, yeah, but interesting little set of games there. Anything else for you on there, Tom?
We've got Pokemon Black and White came out as
Hmm.
well,
What were they
which
like? Were they good? I mean, I've never been a Pokemon player really, so
I mean, up to that point, if you played any Pokemon game, you'd pretty much played every Pokemon game. But it
mm.
was so many extra little bits that were added. I remember I played this one up to a point where you have to travel over this big suspension bridge to get somewhere else. But rather than it just being the normal kind of layout for the map and stuff, and you just walking across the bridge, it took you to like a 3D model of the bridge.
Oh,
So
okay.
you were literally like behind your character walking across it. Um,
Oh, wow, that made a difference between sort
yeah,
of the older top-down Pokemon games.
yeah. I couldn't tell you what happens after that part of the game because I saved it and then never turned it back on. But I mean, I did buy that one like the day it came out, and I think it was the first Pokemon game that I bought that I didn't complete.
Wow. This has turned
Not
into
not
Confessions of a Gamer, this has.
not because it wasn't a good game. It's just I
Mm.
was I was at that point I was really good at buying new games, playing them for 4 or 5 hours, and then buying something else.
Yeah, it was that time of we had so many games on Gen 6, and when Gen 7 come out and all the new systems, you'd go in your second-hand shops, and we just had so many games to choose
Yeah,
from handhelds to home consoles. And yeah, it was a good time. We were quite spoiled, but it just meant we didn't finish many.
yeah.
you
And
know.
I finished none for quite a long time.
Also, one on here for Ginge, one of our loyal subscribers over on the Unofficial Controller podcast. That's Rayman 3D. Big Rayman fan is Ginge. Sort
That
of
was
been
a
working his way through platinum, a lot of the ones that can be platinumed. So, yeah,
that
yeah,
was
bless
a
him.
launch title for the 3DS
Yeah.
because I remember getting that when I got my 3DS on launch day.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
Yeah,
bet that looked good on there as well.
um I remember it looked good. I've never got on with Rayman. I've always found
Yeah,
Rayman games so tough.
I'm with you on that. They are tough, but you can tell even, Ginge is a bloody good gamer, and he works his way through. Does it, and then they're almost sort of, a challenge to him. Let's get this
Yeah,
let's get this played. I think they're gorgeous looking games, stunning looking, but they're almost like that. They give you a false sense. They're almost like that slow, methodical platformer. But you make a little error, and you'll know about it,
yeah.
mainly through death. So yeah,
Turn it off.
yeah, had enough of that. I've played 10 minutes. Right, I'm gonna go down the shop buy another game.
Yeah.
Um, any more on there for you?
Another one for someone else in the Discord. Got Yakuza 4.
Ooh,
We've got our Yakuza Master Roast Space Monk.
yes,
Have you
yes.
played much of the Yakuza series?
I've dabbled with Yakuza and never got on with them, and they just do not click with me. I just don't quite get them. Yeah, everyone I know plays them, adores them, and I
Yeah.
keep trying, and I just keep. I did actually buy the newest one, the pirate one in Hawaii, but the
Oh,
graphics are so glitched on the game. It's just like,
yeah.
yeah, it's like everything is super saturated and super bright, and you have to actually change. You can't even on the game settings. You can't. You have to like mess about with your TV and that. And if you Google it, that's actually quite a common problem. It's like really
Really?
bright on the screen, yeah, and like to the point where when you're in daylight, you can't hardly see anything. When you're sort of looking at stuff, you can hardly see nothing, and that put me right off. And I had to keep messing about it. And after a while, I was like, oh. No, maybe not for me then. I've tried, but
You've talked me out of a purchase then?
yeah. But I know they're much loved series. I mean, obviously George, obviously fellow presenter, he loves his Yakuza, and obviously Rose Space Monk, like you say, another fellow sub over at UCP. He's been working his way through trying to get all the achievements on all of them, 1000 GM, and I think he's done a majority of them now. I don't know where he's up to, but I know he's done a lot of them. But
He's done pretty much all of them, I think. I don't think I've seen him confirm for the pirate one.
No, no, I don't think he has. But I mean, I think he's even got big Yakuza tattoo as well, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, I think it's the start of a sleeve going on there.
I think so. I definitely
Yeah,
think so. But yeah, like I say, much loved games, Yakuza.
yeah.
Um, anything else on there?
Um, there's another one on here that I didn't know existed, which is Ghostbusters: Sanctum of Slime.
Hmm.
As you know, I love my games based on movies,
Hmm.
so I'm a big fan of Ghostbusters. But that one's a twin stick shooter,
Oh, really?
which
What was that on then?
I don't know what it was on off the top of my head, but I remember seeing when I was doing a little bit of research on these last night that it's a Ghostbusters twin stick shooter, which sounds
Oh,
like it could be quite an interesting one to look into.
yeah. I suppose that'd be more that sort of isometric sort of view, I suppose, almost sort of an
Yeah,
original Helldivers 1 sort of look down at them, I suppose.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm just looking up now. It's Windows, PS3, Xbox 360. Um, I'm imagining by the artwork there that it was would it have been a download game only, maybe?
Possibly. I mean, I remember there
Hmm.
being a Ghostbusters game on the PS3 that was like over the shoulder, and then I
Hmm.
got up to a weird bit that was all going through a mystic realm type thing, and I thought, yeah, that's going off now.
I think you sure. No, I think it was only
Only
digital.
digital.
I think it
Yeah,
was only digital, I think. So in that case, if it's not on a PS3 store and don't download soon, I would imagine that will be gone.
yeah,
Which is a shame to think of.
yeah.
Yeah,
Sounds
just
quite interesting.
a few honourable mentions before we move on. Tactics Ogre was out. Marvel versus Capcom 3. I know quite a few people enjoy that. Hardcore Uprising. We had the King's Quest, like you said, Tom. Killzone 3. We had Bulletstorm. Yeah, there was quite a lot of games to choose from. Pro Evolution Soccer 2011 was out. Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 2. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff out and about at this time, and we had that big mismatch, I suppose, of you had your DS, you had your PS3, your Xbox 360, plus your old gen as well, where there was still loads of games there. So there was loads to choose from. But yeah, good month. Been interesting, what we would have been playing. Um, but
It
I
was an
think
interesting month just without any proper massive heavy hitters.
there was
It,
probably a lot of games there we've got in the collections, but not a lot of games there that we remember or played. So
yeah,
it was one of them where you think, oh, I know that, I know that, I know that. Did I play it? Don't think I have. So yeah, you're right. There was none of them real big lasting games there, but a lot of them.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think we better get on to the news. We've scoured the very darkest back pages of the gaming mags and even delved deep into the interweb to bring you what was the latest stories in March 2011. First up from Game Rant, LA Noire becomes the first game honoured at the Tribeca Film Festival. Rockstar Games and Team Bondi invited to play at an exclusive movie industry event. Yeah, Rockstar Games and Team Bondi are getting the red carpet treatment today. The duo announced that its upcoming 40s era crime title, LA Noire, has become the first video game to be accepted as an official selection at the 2011 Tribeca Film Festival in New York. Cue the tiresome games as art debate in 3, 2. LA Noire will receive its own live interactive screening on the 25th of April, wherein Rockstar will lead audiences through one of the game's cases. The event will close with a Q&A session with Rockstar reps moderated by Jeff Gilmore, Tribeca Enterprises Chief Creative Officer. We're thrilled that LA Noire is being recognised by the Tribeca Film Festival in this way. It's a real honour and another step forward for interactive entertainment, said Rockstar Games co-founder Sam Hauser in today's announcement. What Rockstar and Team Bondi have accomplished with LA Noire is nothing less than groundbreaking. It is an invention of a new realm of storytelling that is part cinema, part gaming, and a whole new realm of narrative expression, interactivity, and immersion. We are poised on the edge of a new frontier, added Gilmore. The Tribeca Film Festival started in 2002 as an in initiative, by Robert De Niro and his high profile film buddies to celebrate New York's film industry and to raise funds for the city's post 9/11 recovery. This year's festival runs from the 20th of April to May the 1st. Um, yeah, this really fascinated me, this story, because I'm a big fan of LA Noire. Loved the game, bought it on release, played through it. And they are correct. That game was a massive leap in game and how you facial expressions and how Rockstar put that on a Gen 7 machine to this day still looks incredible. The graphics. I played a game the other week, which was an early game on the PS3, which was called Turning Point. That literally was like an early PC game crossed with a PS2 game. And if you put that side by side of LA Noire, you would no way think that was the same generation of gaming. Absolutely unbelievable. But I never realised that they were accepted in getting awards like this at film festivals and stuff, and really shows how that crossover then started. This interactivity between movies and games really had started. And fantastic. But LA Noire was absolutely fantastic game. Have you played it yourself, Tom? Or?
It's one that I've not ever played. Um, it's one that I was always aware of. I knew it was coming out. I knew there was a lot of hype around it, but I just never actually got as far as buying it. And I've not played it since. I'm pretty sure I've got at least two copies sitting in my
Yeah,
collection,
yeah.
but I've never played it. The main thing I remember about it, like first thing that comes to my head, is South Park taking the Mickey out of it
Yeah.
and like pressing each other on how to interrogate someone.
Yeah.
But
It's an incredible game. It's got all it ticks all the boxes, I think. It's that I think you'd really like it because it's got that detective side, almost point and click, search the area,
yeah,
find the evidence. You've got to piece that together. So that's more like it's got that almost point and click adventure game side to it. Then
hmm
it's got that side of what they do with GTA. So you've got the open world. They've set the scene. You've got your cars. You've got the music on the cars. The radio is of the time. Then you've
yeah,
got the fantastic acting and the graphics. Then on top of that, you've got where you have to see and read their facial expressions, which is tricky at times. And some of them you have to go through two or three times to get it right. But you have to pick the questions to get the reaction to lead you into the next group of questions.
yeah,
Fascinating. You're sort of doing the Black Dahlia murders. Um, and it's a fantastic game. And it's that frustrating side of Rockstar because along with Bully or Canis Cayman Edit, as we knew, they make these wonderful games and then they're one off,
yeah,
you know. And this is such a story as well because you start off with the main character. Forgive me, I can't remember his name, the main character, but they show a picture of him on it. I think it's Cole. I think his name's Cole. But anyway, you even start off with him in the army, and he comes out, and then he goes into, and you start off as a cop on the beat, and
yeah,
then you have to get promoted and go through to become the detective to then get to the case. Um,
yeah,
I'd definitely recommend playing it. It's
yeah,
it's it's superb game. It's a great version on the Switch as well. Really good on the Switch. Just don't play it on the Switch Lite. There's a bit. I had that problem because I wanted to
yeah,
replay it when I first got a Switch Lite. I didn't have a main Switch then,
yeah.
and a lot of that is done through. So when you're close to a bit of evidence, it will
hmm
send a rumble off.
Ah,
It doesn't
okay.
have rumble in a Switch Lite.
Yeah,
So you can't, so you look and you think, well, is it there or not? So you're sort of in the dark a bit. It's the finding stuff. But yeah, great version on the Switch as well. So definitely worth picking up. Probably
yeah,
still a fairly cheap game there, LA Noire. But I think it's great to see this, like I say, this crossover with a lot of film festival. I
yeah,
mean, I think we done one the other week. Can't remember what game it was. He'd got sort of had won an award. I think it was weren't a Max Payne. I don't think I can't remember, but I think companies like Rockstar had really pushed into real decent actors and given it that movie-esque sort of interactivity, which obviously then started getting them announced in award ceremonies like this.
So if you had to pick another game to kind of have presented at a film festival because of its like cinematic qualities and stuff, what would you pick?
Oh, that's put me on the spot. I mean, ideally, I would have said LA Noire, obviously, but because
Yeah,
of how they stage it. Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, I think games not so much in movie ways, but games that really draw you in, and really have that great presence. I think games like Breath of the Wild. I don't
yeah,
necessarily think for a film festival because it's just a really good version of an open world game. I think for a one to be at a film festival, it has to be something like an LO Noir. It has to be one that's got that movie-esque. I mean, you could probably go down the lines of maybe one of the later Spider-Man games for
yeah,
how it's so close to an actual movie experience with the actors and the crossovers and the links to the movies and stuff. So I'd probably go down that sort of route, maybe an Insomniac Spider-Man or something like that. What about you?
yeah. Um, the first ones that came to my mind were some of the David Cage games. So like the Heavy Rain or Detroit.
Great shout, great
De
shout. Yeah.
Detroit is probably the one I would pick.
Mm.
I mean,
Even, I mean, Beyond Two Souls. I know I was going to go there because it's one of my favorite games, but
yeah,
with the acting abilities that they've got in there of um, Elliot Page and completely forgot his name.
Willem Dafoe.
That's the one. Yeah, I mean, you can even see that crossover then where actors were coming into the games
Yeah,
to do it, you know. But that's a great show.
yeah.
Yeah, because David Cage
And
always did what to make games more movie-esque, you know.
yeah, because like for Detroit, you've even got that sequence where you are like on the scrap heap of discarded androids and stuff, where you're having to kind of crawl
Yeah,
through, and it looks like almost Terminator 2 esque
it
when you're
certainly
crawling out of the
does.
pit. Yeah,
Yeah, I was talking to someone the other day who hadn't played that, and they said, "Should I play Detroit?" And I was like, "You need to play Detroit just because of how different an experience that is." And I still probably one of the best trailers I've ever seen for a game, I think,
yeah,
with that how they show you how he had to make a decision and he's standing on that rooftop and you've got to save the child and how you say it. That
yeah,
hooked me. I was like pre-order as soon as I saw that. But you are
yeah.
right, that's a great show. Yeah, David Cage games, yeah, definitely. But yeah, that was interesting to see. Great reward for Rockstar for what they were doing with certain games at the time, and great bit of feedback from them. What we got next then, Tom?
We've also got another one from Game Rant. Meet the first person in line for the North American 3DS launch. He's been there since Monday. So the 3DS launch line has officially been started several days after the first in line arrived. A New Yorker who apparently doesn't have anything else to do has become the first person to wait outside Best Buy for the Sunday launch of the 3DS. It had to be someone, but there's one problem. He got there so early, the NYPD made him leave for loitering. The dedicated gamer, who goes by the name Triforce, started waiting outside the Best Buy in New York City's Union Square, where the official Nintendo sponsored launch event will take place, on Monday. After standing around for an entire day, instead of being commended by the retailer for his dedication, he was greeted by police. Best Buy had called the cops, accusing him of loitering. Despite his attempts at clarifying why he was there, Triforce was asked to leave the premises. That didn't stop him, though. After the police left, he snuck back to the store and said he would just duck out of view whenever other employees started getting suspicious. And he's still waiting there, but now, after nearly 3 days, he has the store's support. There was a misunderstanding, so it's not like Best Buy's being rude, explained Triforce. They said they were having other launch parties, so they don't want to be rude to those fans. However, when the clock struck midnight last night, Best Buy said Triforce could officially start the line. He's still got a long way to go. The store won't begin selling 3DSs until March the 27th, but now he can respectably be named first in line.
I I had to put this in because it was the headline didn't really capture me when I was looking and researching, and I thought, what's this about? The guy getting done for loitering for getting a free gift, and then read it and thought he's obviously a fan if he's called Triforce. I mean, the
Yeah,
image me and Tom have got here is in a Nintendo NES woolly hat, And yeah, and that guy wants that 3DS. Do you know what I mean? I
Yeah,
wonder if he's still got that 3DS to this day. Because, first in line, I mean, fair play to him. I mean, he
yeah.
must have been so excited for this. He is willing to wait a week to pick to pick this 3DS up. Bless his heart. I mean, I know there was quite a bit of hype around the 3DS just because of the 3D it used, but I never realized people were going to be waiting that long. Never realized that at all. I mean, did you get a 3DS at launch, Tom, or?
I did. It actually came out 2 days earlier over here than it did in the US.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize that.
And it came out on payday. So that was back when I was working as a night manager. So I finished my shift at 7 in the morning, drove to Tesco and Deerham and said to them, "Can I have a 3DS, please?" And they said, "What's that?" So I ended up lingering around for an hour until someone who worked in the electronics department came in, and then they were able to give me a 3DS and Rayman 3D.
No way. How did you
Yeah.
find the 3DS? Did you like the 3D aspect of it?
I don't have any real memories of it at all. It's one of those things that seems to be completely blanked out from my mind. I
I
don't.
still jump back on mine. My wife got me the 3DS XL when that came
Yeah,
out. I got the dark blue metallic one, and what did I play for? I can't remember what I played first on there. And I tried the 3D and thought, whoa, that's actually
yeah,
decent 3D. I really enjoyed that. And then I went back again when I got my Switch. I got I done this the weird way, but when I got the Switch, I got Luigi's Mansion 3
yeah,
on my Switch Lite. I played that through and completed it while I was off for Christmas. Loved it. And then I went back to 2 on the 3DS
yeah,
and then to go to 1 on the Cube. So I've done it backwards. But yeah, the 3D on Luigi's Mansion 2, superb. I love it.
yeah,
I think it's brilliant. Yeah, really depth is there. I know a lot of people were getting sick and ill at the time, and I nearly did put that story in this time, but I thought, now I won't. I'll do this one. That's a bit more upbeat. But there was a lot of problem with people being sick and headaches and stuff from the
yeah.
3D. But me personally, I didn't suffer with it. But great little system.
I don't remember suffering from
No,
it.
I mean my nephew, my sister bought him the original one, obviously a lot smaller one at 3DS, and then she got him that lovely turquoise one with the white buttons, and that
That's
was his main
that's what I
console.
had.
Yeah, and that was his main console. That's all he had, and he played game after game after game every day. He loved that thing, and he um before he sold it, we were looking through on there and we found all these old pictures from when he was young with him and my daughter and that, and I'm pulling faces on there, and you just think, this was their console. That's what they used.
Was the 3DS the one that had that game where you could take photos and it would like put your head with a propeller on the top, and then you could play like an augmented reality shooter,
Oh, I can't
shooting little helicopters
remember.
for your head?
It does ring a bell though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was the 3DS that introduced that one.
Yeah, I think you might be right. But no doubt they would have done it. But they'd
Yeah,
even tried to start. I mean, this was when YouTube was in its infancy, but they'd even tried to start making their own little YouTube videos on there and being presenters. It's absolutely hilarious. But yeah,
yeah,
brilliant. But yeah, fair play to old Triforce. You're a legend,
yeah.
mate, waiting that long. I hope you got one as well, because it doesn't actually confirmed. He was probably still there when they writ this.
He might still be there now.
Yeah, they're still waiting for the stock to come
Yeah.
in.
I mean, I know
But
you're not a stranger to a midnight launch.
no.
What's the longest you've waited?
Uh, Not nothing like that. I mean,
No?
literally no. And I mean, I was lucky where I live. When you had midnight launches, you could get there and you wouldn't wait too long. I mean, an hour maybe, not much more than that. I know my mate when PS4 launched. I pre-ordered mine, but he went and bought his at the launch.
Yeah.
And he went to a local town, but that was midnight, and he got PS4, some games, and then for his daughter for Christmas, they were doing brilliant sales on 500 gig PS3s. So he bought a PS3 as well and some games, came out with these under each arm, and there was quite a few hoodies waiting around the precinct for people
Oh,
who were buying. So he was ready to get down and start fighting because he thought, yeah. So whether they actually did get off anyone, and you thought, that's the problem with the midnight launches, depending on where you are,
yeah.
can be a bit problematic if people are hanging around to try and pinch something. But I know he waited. I think he waited a couple of hours for that. But yeah, I've never had to wait too long. Probably the longest, like I say, was an hour, hour and a half, and that was for Vice City midnight launch. But not too many. What about you? You done many midnight launches?
I've never done a midnight launch
No,
at all. No,
no. It's
I always lived
unfortunately,
too far away from places that did them.
yeah, we were. I mean, we were probably 45 minutes away, I suppose, from the nearest one that would do it. And that's when you could get them in a Tesco's and bits and pieces.
Yeah,
Um, but unfortunately, that's an era of gaming that's long gone and something I do miss because the excitement building up for them weeks and then going waiting. And when you hand over your money and get that in your hand, you're like, yeah, you know.
yeah.
I actually,
Whereas,
the Vice City, I mean, getting anxious thinking, what happens if my card don't work? What happens if the
yeah,
card breaks? Yeah, what happens if have I? I'm sure I've checked. I've got money in there. I must have money in there, And it's just like, oh no, oh no. But yeah, luckily enough, it was fine. Went through and quickly bombed home to just try the first bit of the game. But them sort of exciting times are gone a bit now, and which I find
yeah.
very
And
sad.
even like the little sense of community there would have been, I'm assuming, queuing up.
Oh yes,
That
you
that's gone now.
and yeah, you just chat to strangers in the queue, and they'd be like, "Oh man, I can't wait to play this game set in the 80s. It's going to be so cool." Grand Theft
Yeah,
Auto 3 was a groundbreaking, and you're just chatting away to people, and at the end, you're like, "Oh, I hope you enjoyed the game. See you soon." Yeah, brilliant. You
yeah.
don't, not say, download it digitally now off your PS5. It's not the same anymore.
No,
Not the same. But yeah, so well done, Triforce, and I really do hope you got your 3DS.
you'll have to
Um,
look him up and see whether he still exists online anywhere.
yeah, we're still playing it. It's his only console. Bless him. Finally, also from Game Rant, I've had a clean run of Game Rant this week and had some great stories on for this month. This one touched me a bit. I thought this was a nice way to end this month's stories, but um, autographed copy of Final Fantasy Tactics being auctioned to support Japanese disaster relief. Rare PS1 game adds to increasing initiative for gamers to help disaster victims. The copy in question is autographed by Hideo Minimba, art director, and Akinio Yoshida, character designer. Yoshida, who also drew a quick sketch of Ramza, the title's lead character, next to his name. Vestal has posted the rare game on eBay as part of an awesome initiative on the site called Play for Japan. It encourages gamers and industry insiders alike to put up items on the auction site and donate the proceeds to charities focused on recent Japan earthquake and tsunami. The rarity of this item would be hard to overstate. Yoshida and Minimba rarely appear at trade events or sign autographs. This item would truly be the crown jewel of any Final Fantasy Tactics fans collection, wrote Vestal in his eBay description. Specifically, the proceeds will go to Global Giving, a group focused on providing emergency services to people all over the world affected by the disaster. It is labelled an official eBay giving auction, which means bidders can be assured that the winnings will go to the charity listed. The seller never receives any funds. A recent auction of DS signed by Nintendo All Stars, also advertised as a charity listing for Japan, sold for over $4,000. As of Tuesday night, the Tactics auction had reached about $400. Like I say, I put this in because I just thought, you know, people outside a game and who don't understand gaming sometimes gives it quite a bad rap. Do you know what I mean? It's violence, it's not giving people the right, or showing people the right images and blah 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 blah. But it's times like this you realise actually with such a big community, there's a lot of good that can come from gaming. And especially one that was so close to home as the tsunami in 2011. So to see them thinking, well, hang on, like they say, they didn't really appear at social events or bits and pieces. So for them to get this, sign it, and just get it on eBay and get some money raised, I just think it's fantastic. And although there is that toxic side of gaming, there's also a very big community that of fans that will really want to help and jump in when needed, which is proved here. Um, it's nice when you see this sort of thing, Tom, and when you see people jumping in and offering up items, signing and trying to do what they can.
Yeah, yeah. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, and it proves, like I say again, how strong the community is when they can come together and do good like this.
And especially when it's people who don't normally do things like the conventions and stuff will go, do you know what, this is going to be a proper
Mm,
unique
yeah,
item specifically for this purpose.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And you, you could probably say it might have been the only one they'd signed, if not very few. I would imagine they'd signed a Final Fantasy Tactics. So someone out there sitting on that's got a lovely item in their collection. Not only that, they've probably paid the big bucks for that, and it's gone on to raise much needed money for the people who had suffered so much throughout that tsunami. So I think that's a great thing, and um, as something, although in game, and like I say, gets a bad rap at times. Um, But other forms of media, you don't seem to see too much of that either. I mean, people will do fundraisers, but actually getting a piece of physical hardware, signing it, and literally selling it to collectors are fans of the system, but are also raising money. So it's all contained within that sort of whole medium. I just think it's brilliant. And I didn't even know about this until I saw it in this article. I thought, well, I'll add it in because that's a great little end to the news, and just after all the bad news that's been around gaming at the minute with the digitals and prices and bits and pieces. It's just nice to think back, thinking, well, it can do some good gaming. It's not all bad at the moment.
Well, just think in a few years' time, the equivalent for this would be that you would get a special download of a game.
Yeah, yeah, with a
Oh,
virtual signature.
a virtual signature and an exclusive skin.
Yeah, but only lasts 10 years because then we're taking it back.
Yeah. We lost the license.
Yeah, yeah, be typical, wouldn't it?
But
But
I was looking this up earlier and I can't even find a photo of a
really,
copy of this game signed. So
wow.
that's admittedly I didn't search extensively or for hours or anything, but I cannot find even a photo of a copy of this game signed.
Yeah, I reckon that's sitting in a private collection somewhere and someone's paid big bucks for that, I expect.
Yeah,
Someone's got that somewhere in a bit of acrylic and stuffed away. But fair play. If they paid the big bucks for it, enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? And great. That's
it can now go on eBay ready to pay for half of a PS6.
yeah. Third, come on, third. Um, but I hope you enjoyed that news that me and Tom give you there. Like I say, we went from, you know, LA Noire getting represented at a film festival in New York, right through to good old Triforce, who was he was really wanting that 3DS and was prepared to go through anything to get first in line. Right through to a lovely story at the end of an autographed Final Fantasy Tactics selling for decent money to add to the disaster victims and help for all the people that are involved in the Japanese tsunami. So I hope you like those stories. Each three a little bit different, but of the era. Um, but I think it's now time for what we affectionately call Stingray's Boot. What's nestled between some counterfeit nappies and a dodgy copy for Battle for Endor is some of the new releases for April 2011. Spring Stop Wattle Whoa. Right. April 2011. What's got your fancy here then? Go on, we'll have a couple of picks again. Why not? We'll have a couple of picks.
First one that's caught my eye is called The Dishwasher Vampire Smile,
No.
which until yesterday I'd never heard of it, but it just I know you should never judge a book by its cover, but the cover art has really intrigued me.
Do you know what it looks like to me? It looks like a Gorillaz video.
But also, it looks like there's hints of Slay the Princess in the art
Mm.
style,
Yeah, yeah, it's a good show. Yeah.
which, if you've not heard of it, it's a fantastic story. Basically, it's like an interactive story, and it's an amazing game. And I would never have heard of it if it wasn't for Seb. So, Seb is an absolute legend for introducing me to that game.
All he knows is indies, doesn't he?
He does. But Vampire Smile is, from what I've read, like a side-scrolling platformer, and that's literally all it is, but with black and white, really interesting art style, and it clicked something in my head there.
What did you see what platforms that was on, or was it a
I
PC
did
or
not. I did not. Give me a moment. I'll look it up while you have a look for something else, mate.
Well, I think I'm going to start with because the notorious game that absolutely bombed in price when people realized what the game could do. I don't know if you've actually heard of this one, Tom, but Cubic Ninja.
No, I've not heard of that at all. By the way, Vampire Smile was on Xbox Live Arcade and Windows, and it's a side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Mm,
But it sounds very interesting. But
it
anyway,
does.
sorry. Back to Cubic Ninja.
Cubic Ninja. Now, an average sort of platformy, sort of strange game on the 3DS that no one really cared about until a little exploit happened with the game. Um, it basically, doing a certain thing on the game, completely broke open the Unbreakable, apparently, Nintendo 2DS and 3DS models to homebrew applications. Com-
Really?
completely unwittingly knowing by the creators of the game Cubic Ninja, which I think was AQ Interactive and Ubisoft. Actually, there is, I can't remember how you do it. There's they call the exploit the Ninja Hacks, and it replaces users to place a boot file on the device's SD card and then use the level sharing feature of Cubic Ninja to scan a malformed QR code. The code in question is a buffer overflow, which triggers the download and execution of a launcher program, which can then be used to run applications. Basically, their system in there of sharing, if you actually put a lot of buff code on, it messed the 3DS up and literally opened it up into the homebrew screen where you could then open the applications and use it. And then because the prices of this went through the roof, because all the
Hmm.
homebrew guys and the hackers were buying up Cubic Ninja all over the place, so that they could use it as an emulator and God knows what else.
Yeah.
So yeah, so Cubic Ninja just for that strange unknown history of, I mean, Nintendo must have been fuming at them. You've literally cracked our system
Yeah.
and you've done it by accident. So yeah, I think Cubic Ninja is my first pick. Have you never heard of that before, Tom? That one?
Never heard of it. No.
Yeah, that was
But
just crazy. Some guy who had got the game, YouTuber, and I don't know how he done it, but I think he went to scan the wrong QR code, and it
yeah,
sent the and it just sent the DS a bit. Oh God, don't know what's going on. So he turned it off, turned it on again. That was just completely opened up,
brilliant.
and I was like, "What have I done here?" And then because that just went viral, you see, after then. But yeah, so Cubic Ninja. What about you for your second game then, Tom?
My second one is one that I haven't played, but I want to play, and that is Portal 2.
Same here. It's on our
Yeah.
it is on our actual list for our Gen 7 playthrough IGT Back to the Past. If you haven't heard of that, over on Unofficial Controller podcast Discord, where we're working our way through just random, we vote on them, but random Generation 7 games, and Portal 2's on there because I'm with you. I really want to play this game.
Yeah. And just the idea of it being first person shooter where you're not actively killing anything,
Yeah,
but you've
you
got to
use
choose your points and do it very tactically.
yeah, it's almost like a puzzle, literally portals to open up to get to somewhere else. To very clever, very
Yeah.
clever. Yeah, unusual game as well. But yeah, it's definitely something I'd like to play. That's a great show.
Yeah.
Um, I think for my second pick, oh God, there's so many I want to choose from here. I am probably going to go for. Oh, I did see it here. Where's it gone? I cannot find it. I cannot find it. I think I might have to go with a classic. I
Is
think
it Bunny the Zombie Slayer you're after?
definitely not. I
No.
think I think I'm gonna have to go for Yar's Revenge. I would imagine this was the Xbox 360 version.
Do you know
Um,
what? I was just looking at that, and it is
yeah,
the Xbox 360 version,
yeah,
and it's a
yeah.
reboot where it was done with anime style art.
Oh no way! Because
Yeah,
I've got the original in the 2600, and if you ever see anyone playing Yar's Revenge, you just think it's a glitchy mess. Play the game; it is so good. That
Yeah,
game is so good. Just for the replay alone, is that's what the Atari 2600 is about. When you had creative people making games like that, so much fun, absolutely brilliant.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Yards of Infamy is my final one. What about you for your final game off that list, then, Tom?
Off this list, oof. See there's one that if I was a proper gamer, I'd be saying,
Right.
which would be The Witcher 2.
Yep.
But I'm going to say the Fancy Pants Adventures.
Fancy Pants Adventures.
Yeah.
Incredible. Um,
Have you ever played any of the Fancy Pants Adventures games?
no, it looks to me from the cover art like something like drawn to life. It looks like that on the 3DS and the Wii. But
Yeah.
whether it's that sort of similar style, I don't know. But it seems like it.
It started out as like flash games and stuff, but it's like a momentum based platformer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it's just it's a curious one for me more than anything else, and not one that I necessarily would have found elsewhere.
That's the main thing, though, isn't it? Sometimes you find these sort of little hidden gems that are great to play and have a go and think, oh, I never heard of that. Read up on it and think, before you
Yeah,
know it, you're having a go. But yeah, yeah, great choice.
yeah.
Um, are we? Oh, I'll tell you what we didn't do.
What's that?
We didn't say how Stingray's looking today, did we? Well, I think I'm gonna
No.
have to. I think I'm gonna have to jump in
Yeah,
and let you know how I think Stingray's looking. Well, for me, he's he's got this sort of almost LA Noire look about him.
yeah.
He's got the detective's hat, he's got the jacket, but he's completely in black and white. So he's took that whole film noir really seriously. Wayne, on the other hand, has got a tiny little tent because he's doing it for his hero, Triforce. He's going to go and sit outside Audi until they do the release of his new favourite biscuits that are coming out next week. So I thought I'd have to go down the story route with those and our news and keep it appropriate for that. What about you? How's Stingray looking to you?
So to me, Stingray wasn't particularly happy that you were originally going to do this one solo and
Mm,
without George.
he doesn't
So
like it.
so he's decided to cosplay as George, but he's got the costume slightly wrong.
Oh,
So to kind of masquerade George's hairline, he's worn a Friday the 13th style hockey mask, and he's got the green baseball cap, so that side of it is all good.
perfect.
But rather than going for George's usual attire of a baseball jersey, he's gone for the wrong American sport. So he's got some American football pads on.
Oh no.
Yeah. But he's also then, just to make sure that nobody knows any of the mistakes he's made, he's wearing a name badge that just says, "Hi, my name is George."
Proper tribute, so we know who
Yeah,
he is then.
exactly. Yeah,
Absolutely. Well done, Ray. I
yeah,
appreciate that. You
yeah.
know,
He didn't
he
want you to miss out on having some time with George.
no, he does worry about that, bless him.
He does.
Um, but I suppose it's about time we done a bit of a movie pick. Let's have a
I
look
think
round
so.
in here, Ray. What we got? What we got? No, no, no. Oh, I know. Me and my missus laughed at this one. I'm gonna have this one. I am gonna have Romeo and Juliet, which I didn't
Oh,
realise was this old. We always laughed at this. We,
no.
animation, bit funny, but it's quite funny actually. But a great little watch for a Sunday afternoon. But I didn't realise this was 2011. I thought this was way more recent than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, great little animated movie. Yeah, good fun that is. What about you?
My
What's your movie pick?
my my daughter is obsessed with Romeo and Juliet at the
Oh,
moment.
really?
Yeah. Like we play a game with her that we call the movie game. And it's literally one person names an actor, and you have to name a film that they're in. Then the next person has to name another actor from it.
Oh,
Then someone
yeah,
else has
yeah.
to name another film that they're in. And she always comes up with Romeo and Juliet. And I've never seen the bloody thing. I've no idea who's in it.
Oh, it's a great little animated movie. Actually, it's good fun. Proper
But
British version, but good fun.
but for my movie pick, I've had to get Stingray to get me a proper dodgy copy because it's not actually out in the UK till April 2011.
Oh, yeah, just keep it on
Yeah,
the download. But he knows
yeah,
how to do it. He knows
yeah.
how to do it. He's got
He's a man who
contacts.
he's a man who knows how to get things.
Definitely.
And the movie he's got for me is Super.
Mm,
Are you familiar with Super?
I am not.
No. It's got the guy who's the nerdy one in the American Office.
Yeah.
It's got Liv Tyler as his love interest, who then leaves him for drug kingpin played by Kevin Bacon.
Mm.
But he then, after his wife leaves him, he decides that he's going to become a superhero and take him down. But the only issue is that he's got no superpowers whatsoever. But he's got a massive wrench. So he literally like hunts people down on the streets and beats them with this massive wrench.
I've never heard of that.
And then
That
you've got
sounds right up my street.
then you've got Elliot Page, who works with him, who decides that she needs to be she as she was then.
Yeah.
I'm confused myself, but as they were then,
Yeah.
decides to they need to be his sidekick. And
No way.
it's very much in the style of Kick-Ass.
Okay, I was going to
And
say it sounds similar.
they were developed pretty much at the same time. And it was directed by James Gunn, who
No way.
actually was in regular communication with the guy who wrote Kick-Ass. And they were saying, well, people might say we've copied each other. And it's like, no, we've developed it independently of each other. But
No
Super
way.
is well worth watching because
I'm
it's one of
note of
those
that.
it's one of those superhero movies where the superhero has no powers of any description.
I'm going to get that. Actually, that's a great recommendation. That sounds right up the street of me and Mrs. RGT. Yeah,
Yeah,
great choice. Great shout.
yeah.
Um, we'll do a bit of housekeeping before we go, as always, this time in the show. If you're new to the show and you've heard me mention UCP, that is the Unofficial Controller podcast. That is the mothership show of what this spawned out of. Over 300 episodes on there. Been going 8 years. We cover modern gaming, bit of retro on there. We basically cover the week's news, what we've been playing, similar layout to this. But we've got a great community on there, so definitely check that out on all your podcast providers. We've got our website, which is unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com for anything Unofficial Controller Podcast, anything Flashback. Have a check out on there. We've got things from our guest here, Digital Monkery, doing his challenge accepted. We've got all those listed on there, winners and what the tournaments were, right down to game reviews, which Tom has done again. He's got a review up and running on there, so definitely go and check those out. But a great website, very proud of it. It's always evolving, always stuff going on there. If you want to contact the show, if there's anything you want to know, any suggestions for the show, or if you were a guest who would like to come on and you've got your own podcast or YouTube, you can always let us know. I'm sure we can arrange some bits and pieces. That is questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com. Even if you just want a link to the Discord, just jump on there. We can send you a link through, which spills me on to the Discord, which is our community, which has been running for quite a few years now, which Tom is a moderator of on there. So he is one of the controlling arms on there. So be careful because he'll soon have you in trouble if there's any swearsies. But no, Tom runs that. He does challenge accepted. He does Let's Get Quizzical, amongst many other things he does. One of our great community members. So go and check it out. Very friendly place, from anything from swapping games with people to joining in with RGT back in the past and come and have a playthrough on the games, which I am loving. Playing through a game in the community means so much more than sitting at home playing it on your own. You can chat away. And this month we are doing Heavenly Sword. We've just had a vote on that, and we've got a few other people who joined in, a bit new to the playthroughs with us. So jump on there, come and have fun. It's a great place to be. We've also got TikTok. We've got regular videos coming out there by Captain Scarlet, who deals with all our media side. We've got Instagram. We're on X, and I will just say that email again. That is questions at unofficialcontrollerpodcast.com for any of your inquiries or anything you want to know. Just let us know. I think we're about there. I think, Tom, is there anything you want to add or anything you want to
No, nothing
say
at
before
all.
you go?
No,
Or
other
no?
than thanks for having me.
No, pleasure is all ours, mate. Thank you for coming on. Absolutely brilliant. Really enjoyed that. Like I say, thanks to Tom or Digital Monkery. Check him out on YouTube. Check him out on Instagram. Check him out on UCP and all the bits and pieces he does for us. Yeah, and I think we're about there. Thanks for downloading. Thanks for listening. Thanks for following Flashback and the Unofficial Controller podcast. And just remember, Flashback, the games you loved the stories you forgot. Thanks again, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Fly